Hello, my friend, and welcome to Sharing Calm. My name is Sydney. Today, I have a yin yoga practice for you. If you've never practiced yin before, it involves holding the postures or poses for minutes at a time in an effort to access not only the muscles, but deeper connective tissues that are referred to as fascia. And it's within our fascia that we believe our energy lines flow through the body. These energy lines, depending on the system of thought that you're familiar with, or maybe you're unfamiliar with this idea at all and it's new to you, either way is fine, but it might be called different things. In yogic philosophy, the nadis are what we refer to as the lines of energy all throughout the body. There are thought to be more than 72,000 of them. And according to traditional Chinese medicine thought, there are 12 main meridians that run through the body. So these meridians, nadis, or energy lines, are thought to transport energy all throughout our limbs, everywhere. Different energy lines are associated with different functions, different emotions, different abilities mentally, psychologically, physically. And we want these energetic lines in the body to be freely open enough to provide space for which the energy can flow in as balanced of a way throughout all the different systems and areas of our physical body, so that this kind of translates to the mental body, the energetic body, the emotional body, the bliss body, all these layers connected, the energy lines. When you feel that freedom physically, you'll be able to find that freedom on deeper and deeper levels within. So again, if you haven't practiced yin yoga before, when we come into these poses where we hold them for minutes at a time, the goal is not to go all the way to your maximum limit of your flexibility, but you want to back off from that and be closer to 60%, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on the day. It's all based on what you're feeling in your body, and this practice, just like any other practice that I teach, is meant to be functional. So for example, if folding forward straight over a leg feels like there's pain or impingement in the hip, and it feels better to have the leg a little more open, or folding over the leg at more of a diagonal removes that impingement in the hip joints, then allow yourself to explore different angles of the poses within the framework of what I provide to you today. Each pose has an infinite number of variations. I've probably said this before on this YouTube channel. There's as many variations of each pose as there are human bodies on this earth, but even beyond that, I have a variation for my body that might work today that wasn't for me yesterday and might not be for me tomorrow. So each day is different, and the goal of the practice, more than anything, is always awareness. So noticing what you feel from pose to pose, from shape to shape, from breath to breath, moment to moment, remaining aware, present in your body with what is happening so that you can respond with care and wisdom. All that being said, in today's practice, you are not required to have any props, but if you have some sort of a pillow or a cushion or bolster, you might like to have that. You might like to have a strap of some kind. If you don't have a yoga strap, a belt, a scarf, something along those lines should do just fine. And in addition, you might like to have something like a block, a book, a box, if you need it at certain points in the practice. But all of these are just options that I'll offer, but any of the poses can be done without. I'll have us start out in either a comfortable seat or lying down comfortably on your back. These first few moments of the practice are meant to be a soft landing. Whenever you find your position seated or lying down, maybe you close the eyes or soften the gaze, starting to draw your awareness within. In a way, retreating from the constant stimulus of the external world and tuning in to the sensations of the physical body, the sensations of the breath, all the while witnessing whatever's happening within the space of the mind, witnessing whatever's happening within the emotional space of the heart, conscious of the entirety of the present moment here as it exists for you, seeking to understand and accept exactly what is. Perhaps the first few breaths in these moments of stillness are a little deeper or unbalanced. Maybe you take a few really long, full breaths in and open the mouth to sigh out any initial tension that you may feel. In an effort to make this practice about more than just yourself, for just a moment, bring to mind someone in your life. Maybe you know them personally, maybe you don't, who you'd like to offer this practice to. An offering of love, goodwill, and compassion, making every moment of presence serve not only yourself, but this other being. Picturing them in your mind's eye, as though your breath could send them peace, warmth, and love. As though your breath out could pull away any pain and suffering from them, sending them love, taking their pain, and letting it go. If you're not already on your back, bring yourself to lie down now. And once you lie down, bend both knees up to the sky. Make sure your back is flat on the ground, the shoulders comfortable. Might roll the shoulders a little bit underneath and down. And then extend just the right leg long. And open the left hip, so the left knee comes out to the side, like a door opening out. Sole of the left foot along the inner right thigh. If the outside of the left leg would like some support, whether it's lifted or touching the ground, essentially if there's any pain in the knee joint or the hip joint, you can support that leg with a block, a cushion, a folded or rolled blanket. You can rest hands on the body or down at your sides. In yin yoga, we want to find a comfortable edge where we feel sensation, but not so much that there's pain or strain. An amount of sensation where we can soften, feel the surface level skin and gross, large muscles relax. Once we arrive at that edge, settling into stillness, and witnessing whatever arises and whatever passes within that stillness for a period of time. In any posture, if you need to make adjustments during or exit a posture early, trust your own intuition. Do whatever you need to do in order for this practice to bring you balance, to bring you harmony, or to bring you healing. The more you listen and serve yourself, the more you are giving to this other being whom this practice is dedicated to. Offering yourself kindness and grace and patience as the journey unfolds. Take at least one more breath here. Lift the left knee back up through the center. Bend the right knee. Place the right foot on the ground. Take your time as you move to the second side, extending the left leg long, and this time opening the right knee out to the right side, sole of the right foot to the inner edge of the left leg. Same option to support underneath the bent knee. So right thigh or right knee with a cushion, block, or blanket, if it would like. Hands still on the body or down at your sides. Arriving at your edge. Settling into stillness. And witnessing each moment as the time continues to pass. Inhale the breath in. Exhale the breath out. Lift the right knee back up to the sky. Bend the left knee, place the left foot on the ground. You can walk the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Let the knees fall in towards one another just for a few breaths. Constructive rest. These pauses between the postures just as important, if not more so than the poses themselves. And then walking the feet back about hips distance apart, knees pointing straight up to the sky. We'll move into our next shape, which will be a hamstring stretch. So bringing awareness to the back of the legs, extending the left leg straight up to the sky. I'll give you a few options for this shape. So if you don't have props or don't want to use props, left foot straight up to the sky, hands can come to interlace behind the back of the left leg. And then whether or not you'd like to, you might extend the right leg along the ground or keep the right knee bent, depending on what brings more sensation to the degree that you'd prefer in the back of the left leg. Left foot can be actively flexed or the foot can be relaxed. Depending on how high up the hands can reach on the leg, you might be able to bring the leg in closer. You don't want to have a deep bend to the knee, though you're more than welcome to bend the knee a little bit, especially if you have any kind of tendency to lock through the joints. You don't want to lock the knee. A little bit of a soft knee, perfectly fine. Noticing what you're feeling down the back of the left leg. Now, another option, if you have a cushion, would be to first lift the hips, sliding the cushion underneath the low back, just above the tailbone. And this often helps some folks to pull that leg in a little closer. This lift of the hips allows for a tilt of the pelvis that naturally brings the leg in closer. So same idea, left foot to the sky, right knee either long or the knee can be bent. Then another option here, if you'd like to, and if you have some kind of a strap, like I said, scarf, belt works as well, wrapped around the sole of the foot, very close to the ball of the foot. Hands can hold onto the strap at any point. Maybe the strap wraps around the hands so the arms can rest a little bit more down. And the leg really has no effort here. It's almost like being hammocked in the strap. My hands are what have control over the leg. And some folks, if you have a strap that can loop and make a big long loop with it, and perhaps from there, you'd like to take the strap behind the head or the neck, depends on the person. And some people like to have the head down on the ground with the strap. For me, my head likes to stay lifted. And this is where the head and the leg are almost in a hammock together. And there's really no effort anywhere in my body at all. Everything is being held. Everything is relaxing. I feel sensation through the back of my left leg to a degree that feels safe and sustainable for time. And then we settle into that stillness, watching and observing all that happens within the space and framework of the body, the breath, the mind, the heart. Just one more breath here. And allow yourself to exit the pose. If you're using a strap, kind of loosening the grip on the strap, bending the left knee, lowering the left foot down onto the ground next to the right foot for just a moment, both feet on the ground. Notice what you feel through the back of the left leg, left hip, after the pose. And we'll move on to the second side. All the same options, so you can have the hips on the ground or the hips lifted. Extend the right leg up to the sky with the hands interlaced behind the leg at any point, or utilizing a strap around the bottom of the foot, close to the ball, maybe right on the ball of the foot, either just holding on with the hands, or again, if you'd like to, the strap behind the back of the head. Some folks like it behind the back of the neck. And having the strap tightened to whatever degree it needs to be so that both the foot and the head feel like they can let go and kind of be heavy and release. And whatever variation, whatever you're using to hold the right leg up in the air, know that that left leg, the knee can be bent, or the leg can go long along the ground. Allow for a soft bend in the right knee to whatever degree you need. Paying attention to the sensations in the back of the right leg, the leg extended up to the sky. Let your awareness settle really firm into the experience of the body. Allowing the experience of the physical body be a gateway into deeper awareness of yourself. Feel at least one more breath here. And then mindfully moving slow, exit the pose. Releasing the right foot back down onto the ground. Both knees bent, both feet on the earth. If you're propped up onto a cushion of some kind, lifting the hips so that you can take that away now. And then bring yourself all the way up to sitting. You can roll to one side and press your way up from there. And once you come to a seat, we'll make our way into shoelace next. So shoelace pose, you might have a tight shoelace where you have the right leg crossed all the way on top of the left leg to where the knees are almost or entirely on top of one another. Or you might have more of a loose shoelace where the shins are more so stacked, or even looser than that, where the right leg, right foot is just in front of the left leg, left foot. All of those options perfectly fine, starting with, like I said, right leg in front or on top, depending on how crossed the legs become. In any of those variations, if it is at all more comfortable to be sitting with the hips up onto something, perhaps that creates more space for the legs to stack, or, and maybe perhaps at the same time, you can have the hips up onto something, and if there's space between the knees or underneath the bottom knee, and that needs to be lifted up, that could be something that you do as well. If there's any kind of pressure on the ankles against the ground, especially if you're on a hard ground, you can always add padding like a blanket folded underneath the feet or ankles in any way, even underneath this bottom knee as an option for you as well. And we're bringing some awareness into the outer edges of the hips, especially with the right leg in front or on top, the outer edge of the right hip or right glute here. Now, whatever variation, however crossed or uncrossed your legs are, again, does not matter. From there, you can choose, am I feeling enough or am I feeling anything at all in my right hip, right glute? If not, perhaps I have the space to hinge at the hips and fold a little bit forward and down. Depending on how far forward and down you're folded, you might like to support the forehead by stacking any kind of props in front of you. That way the neck can just totally relax. The shoulders can totally relax. However, sometimes the gravity of releasing the chin to the chest creates a nice stretch into the back of the neck. So trust what you feel, what you know. And perhaps a lot of it is just about experimenting through experience. Trying it one way one day, trying it a different way the next. Seeing what works, what doesn't. And observing and recognizing how what works one day may not work the next. Always present with the body that is present, that is here and now. Each breath, bringing love, taking away pain and strain, softening at that ideal edge, not the full range of motion, but backed off just a little again so that The big muscles can be soft, and deeper layers of the body can be accessed. Notice how the body feels the same or different than when you first came into this shape. And then gradually make your way out of it, sitting back up tall if you're folded forward. Gradually uncrossing the legs, perhaps extending them straight forward out in front of you just for a moment. And switching sides, not rushing, slowly finding your place, testing out different tightnesses of your shoelace. Knees a little more wide with the left leg, left foot in front or on top. Experiment with folding the legs in closer if you have the space. Maybe the knees stack all the way on top of one another. Maybe the body needs a lift of the hips or a lift of the knees, supported with blocks, blankets, or whatever cushions you have handy. Finding the orientation of the legs that allows you to find a sense of comfort and stability through the low body, so you're not off balance, like you're going to fall to either side. And then notice what you feel, even while sitting upright for a moment, through that left hip, glute, and thigh. And maybe upright you're already feeling enough, and if so, let it be enough. Remain still there. Or if your body is seeking your edge in a different place, then perhaps hinging at the hips, folding forward and down. Same option to support underneath the head, the arms, the chest, the upper body with any kind of props. I mentioned a box, if all you have is a box, a stool, or even a chair to rest the head upon. Otherwise, giving way to gravity. Either way, if you're sitting upright or folding forward, softening into the shape. Breath by breath, tension unwinding, unwinding from the most surface level tightness to the deep knots. the knots that can only be released when released both mentally and physically at the same time. Feeling the untangling, watching the change in sensation over time. Again, notice how you feel different or the same as when you first came into the shape. And then slowly make your way out of it. Sitting up tall if you're folded forward. Uncrossing and extending the legs straight out in front of yourself. From here, we'll move into a shape called caterpillar. An extended leg forward fold. So both legs are long out in front of you. Feet can be close together. They can have some distance apart. Ankles can be active, flexing the toes to the sky, or feet can be relaxed. Knees can be straight, or they might have a little bend. You might even roll a blanket or something small underneath them if you want to encourage a bend, if you have the tendency to hyperextend and want to avoid it. Sitting up tall through the spine. Similar to that previous pose, if it helps you to sit tall by sitting up onto something, you can always lift the hips on a blanket, a cushion, or a block, pillow, whatever you have. And you might stay sitting tall. Maybe you feel enough already through the backs of your legs, or if you'd like to, hinging at the hips, letting yourself fold forward and down. You can do this in one of two ways. You can either aim to keep the spine long, like you're reaching forward and out through the chest, the head stays lifted. That'll bring more sensation through the backs of the legs. If you want to feel more of a stretch through your back, through your spine, then instead of reaching forward and out through the chest, let the spine round. Let the chin drop to the chest. Let the shoulders drop down. Let the crown of the head release down. Perhaps you try them both and feel what serves you the most here today. Maybe you take 10 or so breaths in one variation and then alternate to the second. Take one more breath. And let yourself come out of that shape, out of the forward fold. Sitting up tall. Perhaps you bend the knees, sit cross-legged if that's comfortable for a moment. Just something neutral with the spine upright. We'll move now into doing a release through the neck. So if you need to change positions to find a more comfortable way to sit up tall, then change positions, sitting up onto anything that you need. Cross-legged, kneeling, legs out long, doesn't matter. Bringing awareness to the neck. And when you're ready, gently letting the left ear drop down towards the left shoulder. You might take the right hand down to the ground next to the hips or wrap the right arm around the back, grabbing hold of your shirt or the opposite arm behind you. If that helps, bring more of a release through the side of the neck. Otherwise, the hands can stay in the lap. With the left ear to the left shoulder, you might also take the left hand as a gentle weight to the top of the head. Take one more breath here. And lift the head back through the center. You can help lift it with the left hand. If you need to roll out the shoulders here in the middle, or turn the head gently side to side, finding a little bit of freedom and movement through the neck after that. And then setting yourself up for the second side, again, sitting tall. And letting the right ear drop down towards the right shoulder now. Same option to take the left hand down to the ground or wrapped around the back. Otherwise, keeping it in the lap. And the right hand might like to come on top of the head, not to pull down or press down heavy, but just a little bit of gentle pressure. If it helps to find more space, more of a sense of release through the left side of the neck to do so. Otherwise, both hands remain in the lap. Take one more breath. And lift the head back through the center. Again, you can help it with the right hand if you need. Bring the hands back to the lap if they're not. Roll out through the shoulders or turn the head side to side, maybe both. And letting that go. And we'll move now into a back bend. You have two options. Option one, especially if you have no props, so take this option, our Sphinx pose, coming onto the belly, the front of the thighs come down, and the chest is propped up, elbows under the shoulders, forearms just about parallel in front of yourself. If this feels like too deep of a back bend, you can always walk the elbows a little further forward. This will lessen the curve the spine will have. If there's any pain in the low back, sometimes widening the legs or widening the feet can aid in that. Remembering that you can always exit a pose early or take breaks if you need. If you do happen to have either a pillow or a block or two, something of the sort, then you might like to take what's called supported fish pose, where you come into a seat and you either take a pillow or a long cushion along the length of your spine behind you, or one or two blocks in a similar fashion, one underneath the upper body, kind of between the shoulder blades, and the second optionally behind the head. The head could also hang down if that's comfortable for the neck, but you can support it with a block if you'd like to. Legs can be bent, knees up to the sky. Legs can be long. You could also find more of a cross-legged position or a butterfly shape, soles of the feet together, knees open wide if you'd prefer and want to add a little bit of a hip opener at the same time. It's not necessary, it's just an option. And whether you're in that Sphinx pose with the belly down, chest being lifted, or you're on your back with the spine supported, feeling the extension through the spine, up and out of the pelvis. A sense of opening through the center of the chest, the collarbones, and the front of the shoulders. anchoring your focus on the experience at hand, letting everything else outside of that experience drift away. Give yourself about 3 more breaths. And exiting the pose, if you're on your belly, you can just release the chest and head down, maybe making a pillow with the hands for the forehead. If you're on your back, coming up off of whatever props you were on, and either sitting up or lying back down, just for a moment from either position, feeling the spine neutral and fully supported by the ground. Really notice how the back feels as it comes out of the back bend. And we'll all come now onto our bellies. So if you're on your back, coming all the way around onto your front side. If you're on your front side already, I'm meeting you there. And then coming right away back into Sphinx pose, coming up onto the elbows. And then take your left knee, bend it out to the side, kind of like a half frog shape. Then the right leg, it may stay directly where it is. If you at all have the space to walk the right foot and right leg out a little bit at a diagonal out to the right side, then you might do so here. And then take that right arm, thread it under the left shoulder, reaching it out wide. And then this is an option, bending the right knee so that you can take the left arm open and around to grab the right foot or ankle. If you don't do that, you just don't do that, and the arm reaches up and over. And then from there, with the connection of the foot or not, start to roll yourself onto the back of the chest, so the upper back. Coming into a twist. So having the right foot bound, as I said, is an option. So if the leg is long, just moving into a spinal twist now with the left knee crossed over the body. Left arm opening wide. It might be hovering in the air. You might like to rest it onto something, especially that left shoulder if it's lifted. As you come onto the upper back, the left knee might lift off the ground, and if you want to, you can put a pillow, a cushion, or a block underneath it. But it's perfectly fine to have the joints suspended in the air as long as there's no pain in the joints when you do so. And if for any reason this is not comfortable, you can come all the way onto your back and simply have both knees bent in and then crossing over to the right side. Finding a spinal twist in whatever way feels most comfortable for your body here is the goal. The shape is not the goal. The function of the spine being twisted in a safe and suitable way for your body is what you're seeking here. A place where you can settle into stillness within the sensations. They're not feeling like too much. Take at least one more breath here. And then gradually unwind yourself all the way back to center, onto your belly if you were in the twist we brought you into, or if you're on your back, finding an easier twist, just coming onto your back. And if you're starting out in Sphinx pose on your front side, bending the right knee out to the side this time for that half frog shape to begin. Left leg can stay where it is, or if it's comfortable to walk it out at a diagonal to the left, you might do so now. Taking the left arm, thread it under the right shoulder, reaching it across, almost like you're already trying to come onto the back of the shoulder there. The right arm swings open to the sky, either up and open, finding your twist from there, or bending the left knee to grab the left foot or ankle, and then twisting open, chest opening to the sky. Upper back moving towards the ground. Same thing here. If you'd like to support underneath the right shoulder or right knee, then you can place any cushions, blocks, blankets that the body would like. If you're on your back, finding an easy twist, both knees into the chest, over to the left side. Arms can be anywhere that's comfortable in that case. Finding a way to be soft, to be subtle, micro adjustments with each breath. Steady awareness. Take at least one more breath here. And gradually, slowly, mindfully unwind. Coming all the way back to center. If you're on your back, just waiting there. If you're on your front, starting to gradually make your way onto your back. Take your time. Your spine was just in some pretty deep twists, so you don't need to move quickly in any way. And as you come down onto your back, you can either bend the knees, place the feet on the ground, or hug the knees in towards the chest, just for a moment to feel something neutral on the left and right sides of the body after those twists. And finally, Shavasana, your corpse pose, your final resting pose. You might lie flat on the ground. You might keep the knees bent with the feet on the ground or place a pillow or cushion underneath the knees. If it's more comfortable and restful to sit up in a meditative posture, that option works as well. To the best of your ability, whatever position you find, noticing the arms and letting them release heavy. Letting them be loose and effortless, like dead weight, resting down. Noticing the legs, both legs. Inviting them to become heavier, heavier, heavier. Feeling the torso, the length of the spine, soft, releasing down. Feeling the neck, the head, and every part of the face loose, resting. Every ounce of effort gone from the body. Totally still here. Making peace with the practice, making peace with life up until this moment right now. This is your Shavasana. Let it be what it is. Let the body, the mind, and the heart rest. Start to bring your awareness back to the body, to the breath, to the room that you're in. Gradually start to deepen the breath, breath by breath, a little fuller, more complete. And as the breath gets deeper and deeper, allowing the body to start to move, small at first and growing bigger, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles, bending the elbows, bending the knees, perhaps reaching the arms overhead long, and then rolling all the way to one side. You can stay lying down for longer if you need more rest. Otherwise, pressing your way up to a comfortable seat. Sitting up tall, eyes soft or closed. Hands in the lap or hands connect together in front of the heart. Taking a moment to bring back to mind the being or person whom you shared this practice with. Feeling them in your heart. Sharing love, sharing peace with them. Feeling a moment of gratitude towards your practice, towards yourself, towards your life. Take one moment to notice how you feel here at the conclusion of your practice. And as always, gratitude from me to you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice, your time, your energy with me today. As always, if you have any questions about this practice or your yoga in general, please don't hesitate to ask. You can comment below or reach out to me via email. The email's in the description in some place. Otherwise, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I'd be so grateful of you if you did so, or give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want more yin practices like this. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.